Hello and welcome to our review of Devil May Cry 5. Developed by Capcom, the game marks the return of the legendary demon hunter Dante and his protege Nero in a new action-packed adventure. With its fluid combat, intriguing storyline, and striking visuals, the game has garnered a massive following. Today, we'll be delving into what makes Devil May Cry 5 stand out from its predecessors and whether it's worth your time and money. My affection for action games first started with the original Devil May Cry. As the series progressed, it continued to hold a special place in my heart because it's not just about slaughtering every enemy in sight. Instead, it's about the way you go about dispatching foes. The combat is like a highly technical dance, which allows you to express yourself in an almost artistic manner through the use of swords, guns, and jump cancels. Devil May Cry 5 is the pinnacle of this particular type of game. Its campaign is perfectly paced and combines 3 different playstyles, each of which is complex enough to stand on its own. The story is enjoyable and fulfilling, and the combat system is one of the best you'll encounter in video games. The story in Devil May Cry 5 takes an unconventional approach by starting with a climax-like event where the player is thrown into a battle that they are meant to lose. Following this, the story then jumps back a few months to show the events leading up to the rise of the superpowered demon king named Urizen and the journey of the new character named V, who is seeking to defeat him. The story then rotates through different perspectives, telling the present-day story of Dante, Nero, and V as they try to take down Urizen, while also providing context and background to the events that led up to the story's present-day setting. Urizen and V are shrouded in mystery throughout Devil May Cry 5, adding to the intrigue of the game's plot. Like the main character Nero, I was uncertain of V's true intentions, and with every new piece of information, I found myself concocting theories about his identity and motives. Although some questions remained unanswered by the end of the 10 to 12 hour game, I remained fully engrossed in the plot, which delivered satisfying revelations and even filled in some long-standing series plot holes. Of course, the game's signature over-the-top action, which only Devil May Cry can deliver, was also a major highlight. Overall, the game's plot kept me hooked from start to finish. Additionally, Devil May Cry 5's combat system is simply outstanding. At first glance, the combat system in Devil May Cry 5 appears quite simple. Each character has a button for melee attacks, ranged attacks, and a unique ability, such as the Devil Breaker, Style Technique, or Cane Attack. If you don't wish to explore the system's intricacies, you can complete the game on normal difficulty with ease by only using the basic controls. Additionally, there's even an auto-assist feature that executes flashy combos by repeatedly pressing the attack button, allowing even casual players to experience the sensation of playing at a higher technical level. However, the true beauty of Devil May Cry 5's combat lies in its depth, creative freedom, and diversity. Devil May Cry 5's combat system truly shines due to the depth, creative freedom, and variety it offers, thanks to the 3 sets of tools available to each character. For instance, when playing as Nero, these tools include the revable Red Queen sword, chargeable Blue Rose handgun, a grappling tool that pulls enemies closer, and an assortment of disposable mechanical arms called Devil Breakers. Each Devil Breaker provides Nero with unique abilities and utilities. Among these, my personal favorite is Punchline, which shoots out an arm capable of homing on enemies and keeping them in place with rapid rocket punches. However, the real excitement begins when you hold down the Devil Breaker button while Punchline is in use, allowing you to jump on top of it and ride it like a hoverboard, performing flips, 360-degree spins, and other cool stunts while knocking enemies into the air. Dante's gameplay in Devil May Cry 5 is the most familiar of the 3 characters since it is almost identical to his Devil May Cry 4 version. Dante is like a Swiss Army knife as he can switch between 4 distinct styles: Trickster, Royal Guard, Gunslinger, and Swordmaster, for melee weapons, and 4 ranged weapons with ease. His arsenal is a fantastic blend of old and new, with his older weapons feeling fresh thanks to various new tweaks and techniques, while his newer weapons add new dimensions to Dante's combat abilities. He even has a motorcycle that he can use to ram into enemies, then transform into 2 slow but hard-hitting buzzsaw swords and revert back to the motorcycle, all within the duration of a single combo. V's playstyle in Devil May Cry 5 sets him apart from every other character in the series. Unlike the other characters, V doesn't engage in combat himself, but instead relies on 3 summoned familiars to fight for him. These familiars include Shadow, a black cat capable of transforming into various blades and creatures, Griffin, a bird that can unleash a range of electrical attacks from afar, and Nightmare, a massive beast that can only be summoned when V's devil trigger meter is full. Nightmare fights independently, and it can be extremely satisfying to watch it emerge from a wall or descend from the sky, decimating hordes of enemies. Despite V's familiars doing the majority of the fighting, they cannot kill enemies on their own. As a result, V must teleport around and deal the finishing blow with his cane after his familiars have weakened the enemies. This creates visually impressive kill sequences where V seamlessly moves from one enemy to another, taking them out one by one, while his familiars continue to battle in the background. Using V effectively is challenging, even by Devil May Cry standards, since the player lacks directional control over Shadow and Griffin. Targeting specific enemies can be difficult, and keeping track of the familiar's position in relation to the enemy can also be tricky. However, players can use their devil trigger meter to let the familiars fight autonomously, allowing them to focus on dodging enemy attacks. Alternatively, if they feel safe for a moment, they can read a book to regain devil trigger meter or play the violin to taunt their foes. While V's gameplay in Devil May Cry 5 is unique and interesting, it's the weakest of the three characters. V's movement feels more restricted in comparison to Dante and Nero, which can limit the player's enjoyment. However, this is not to suggest that V's gameplay is bad. Once the player has a few upgrades for Shadow and Griffin and becomes accustomed to the combat's rhythm, V's gameplay can be enjoyable. The developers have also used V's unique gameplay sparingly enough that it never overstays its welcome. It is important to mention that players can purchase red orbs, the primary currency in Devil May Cry 5, with real money. This is generally considered an unfavorable aspect of a game. However, the cost of each upgrade and technique in red orbs feels reasonable, with the exception of one advanced technique per character, which seems intended for high-level players to strive for. I never felt any pressure or desire to spend real money on red orbs or to grind for them in-game. Devil May Cry 5 boasts exceptional graphics and sound design. The game's animations are filled with style and personality, whether it's Nero's energetic sword attacks, which propel him through the levels, Dante's sardonic taunts to bosses, or V's subtle movements, which add to his enigmatic persona. The game's level design is more straightforward and less focused on puzzles than previous entries in the series. This decision was beneficial since it kept the gameplay fast-paced and placed a greater emphasis on skill-based combat challenges. For instance, in some challenges, players must defeat a group of enemies before their weight causes the platform to collapse and block access to a hidden area with rewards. However, the environments are less varied than in previous games, and players will frequently traverse demon-infested cityscapes and hellish underground chasms. Devil May Cry games are notorious for their challenging difficulty, but on its default settings, DMC5 isn't overwhelmingly difficult. It's actually rather forgiving if the player only wants to survive the battles. When the player dies, they can use a gold orb to revive on the spot with their health and devil trigger meters refilled. Obtaining gold orbs isn't difficult, they're often located off the beaten path in a level, awarded as a daily login bonus, or obtained by performing well in the kamiya system. This system records a ghost of the player's character as they play through certain levels, and this ghost is added to other players' games. If the player runs out of gold orbs, they can use the much more common red orbs to revive and replenish their health. By the end of the game, I had accumulated an abundance of gold orbs. Staying alive in Devil May Cry 5 isn't a significant challenge. As previously mentioned, what sets the series apart is not merely killing every enemy in the room, but the manner in which they are eliminated. Achieving SSS ranks is a gratifying and worthwhile challenge, which compensates for the game's base difficulty level. Consequently, I eagerly sought out new techniques, and the game rewards players frequently, providing them with new forms, weapons, and devil breakers at every turn. Each new addition has its own set of upgrades, ensuring that the gameplay remains fresh and entertaining. By the conclusion of the game, all three of my characters felt exceptionally powerful, with many upgrades left to purchase for my next run-through in Son of Sparta mode, which is similar to a New Game Plus and is where the genuine challenge of Devil May Cry 5 begins to emerge. A great combat system is only effective if the enemies are entertaining to battle, but luckily, Devil May Cry 5's adversaries meet the high standards established by the series' previous installments. The game includes a diverse range of enemies, including common cannon fodder that the player can dispose of in any way to increase their combos, robust opponents that require specific tactics to penetrate their defenses, and potent support villains that can cause significant damage from a distance and pose a significant danger if not defeated quickly. The bosses are equally impressive, with some of the later battles among this series' most formidable. The game features a wide range of bosses, including towering and potent beasts, others that are swift and elusive, but the most enjoyable ones are one-on-one duels with high-speed action that necessitate quick reflexes and a cautious balance of offense and defense. Devil May Cry 5 has undoubtedly earned its place as the best game in the series. Its combat system is a pinnacle of the action genre, surpassing even its predecessors. The game rewards players with a steady stream of new techniques and upgrades, which, combined with the unlockable difficulties, ensures that the gameplay remains fresh and engrossing. The story is also a standout aspect of Devil May Cry 5. It strikes a delicate balance between all three of its primary characters and divulges fragments of the plot at an alluring pace, leaving the player eager to unravel the mystery. The game's mysterious plot kept me guessing, and even after completing the game, I still have lingering questions that I hope will be answered in the upcoming Bloody Palace DLC. The incentive to replay the game is provided by the extensive range of techniques and upgrades that players can unlock. The upcoming free Bloody Palace DLC will only serve to enhance this factor, offering even more replayability. In conclusion, it is delightful to have Dante and Nero back in top form in Devil May Cry 5. The game is a testament to the series' lasting appeal, demonstrating why it has remained a beloved staple of the action genre. So, that's our review of Devil May Cry 5. The game is a shining example of the action genre, with its compelling storyline, stunning visuals, and immensely satisfying combat system. If you're a fan of the series or the genre in general, this game is a must-play. With its numerous unlockables and replayability, it's a game that'll keep you coming back for more. So, what are your thoughts on Devil May Cry 5? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews and gaming content. Thanks for watching.